In this video, I'm going to talk about possible price prediction for Arbitrum token that's going to be airdrop this Thursday. So in a couple of days, we're going to be able to trade Arbitrum. And if you're thinking about buying that or selling because you got an airdrop, I'm going also to talk about how you can find new airdrops exactly like Arbitrum, following on-chain information and doing some things on-chain as well. So let's get started with this thread from Olympio. I think this is a really good prediction when it comes to price. Of course, all that is speculation. I'm only covering that for educational purposes, not the financial advice. I don't know how the market will behave in the end. And Olympio does not as well, but he has a bunch of predictions that are very useful if you look at that. So basically the prediction here is that you have to compare Arbitrum to a bunch of other coins as well, especially Optimism, Matic, Avalanche, and a bunch of other L2s to Ethereum, because Arbitrum is of course L2 to Ethereum as well. And there's a couple of things you can look at. So one of them is of course market cap. The other is total value locked within the protocol, so how much money people are actually put into the protocol. And then fully diluted value, FDV, so this is all of the tokens, because market cap is counted by the tokens that are already unlocked. So for example, with Arbitrum Airdrop, you will have 12% unlocked at the beginning, and that would give for example, if we were thinking about ecstatic scenario here, that if we think about $3 billion market cap, that would give us the price of $2.5. In a pessimistic scenario where the market cap will be $360 million, because that would give you $3 billion on FDV, so fully diluted value for all of the tokens, you would get a price of 30 cents. So Olympio is really suggesting a price between this range, between 30 cents to $2.5, which means that if you got even the minimum a possible lowest airdrop from Arbitrum, which is 800 Arbitrum tokens, you're probably getting something between $300 to basically a couple of $1,000s with this Arbitrum airdrop, which is pretty crazy. This is the only thing that can happen in crypto markets where you get this kind of money for free for doing some kind of actions on testnets, mainnets, and so on. So this is really crazy. So I'm going to go with this scenario here and show you the computations here, but basically the only thing you have to remember is that we know the max supply of Arbitrum tokens. This is public information. There will be 10 billion tokens of ARB, 12% will be unlocked, so we can try to, for example, estimate the market cap, try to guess that thing, or try to guess FDV. Also TVL is also known information, because TVL is something that can be checked on, for example, DeFi Llama, Nansen, or a bunch of other analytical tools where you have this information available. And basically what Olympia is doing is computing FDV to TVL and comparing that with other chains as well. So for some of the chains you have high value, you can have low value for that depending on how people are using the chain itself. So let's get into the thread itself. So snapshot was being done on February 6th, 12% total supply. So the TVL can be already seen from the information. TVL is $3.7 billion for Arbitrum 1. We got this optimistic roll-up, and this is giving you the tokenomics. So you can see that airdrops will be roughly 12%, and then you have investors, treasuries, so 42% for later for being used, team advisors 26%, but I guess those will be locked for the time being. So roughly 12% will be in circulation on the day one. 1.2 billion tokens of ARB will be available and will be available for buying and selling on most of the exchanges, because from Binance to Gate.io to everyone else in the field, actually you will be able to buy and sell ARB tokens, which is a good information, because basically everyone wants to be on this train. So airdrop criteria, that was also known. So basically doing different transactions, and then the volume of transactions counted, and also the duration of time counted. So I'm going to show you then later an article from Nansen, because they were the team behind helping Arbitrum determine who will get the airdrop in the end, because there are some people who actually were doing these actions and still did not get an airdrop, and that's on purpose because they were trying to farm the system, and actually their actions were not what the team were looking for. And this is something also that you have to remember if you're playing with multiple wallets. Always use a VPN. That's why I recommend, for example, NordVPN here. I will also come back here later for that. So coming back to the Olympio Twitter, basically you can see that this is the information that he's putting here. And you can check eligibility on arbitrum.foundation. And then for the computations, this is how you compute total tokens by the token price possible, and you want to compute this X. So you actually try to determine what FDV or market cap can be based on other projects. So you compare that to other projects, and then you can basically infer token price from the equation. This is a simple equation with one variable, so nothing complicated here. And basically, as Olympio is saying, the best benchmarks are other similar chains, L2s, plus Phantom and Solana. This is also a good comparison. So he wants to compare those. So Optimism is the second biggest Ethereum L2, and you have the TVL, which is basically 1/3 of or even 1/4 of what Arbitrum TVL is right now. You have the FDV, and basically if you compare this FDV, the price would give you $1 roughly. Same if you would compare FDV to Matic, the price would be 1.1. For FTM, if you compare the FDV, the price would be 14 cents, but FTM is quite small compared to Arbitrum right now. If you compare to Solana, again, the price would be somewhere around $1. So summarizing, you have those kind of results if you were to compare with FDV. However, you can think about that Arbitrum is actually much more used right now, and for example has 2 times higher TVL than Optimism. So that might actually give you other estimates if you were to actually compute everything by calculating FDV by TVL. So we of course don't know how much that will influence the price, but it might be a reason for the price being higher, and that's why Olympio is putting this kind of price iterations comparing Arbitrum to other chains. But basically around $1 seems to be a fair price here, and everything above $1 will be really great. Everything below $1, well, not so great, but we will see in the end. Of course, comparing to other chains, this seems very good. And yeah, this is it for the potential price predictions. So as I've mentioned, there are a couple of ways to actually check for different airdrops. I wanted to mention this thread by Look On Chain, and generally speaking, I also recommend following Look On Chain for different tips on what wallets to look at, because for example, this team was able to find different addresses that got a lot of airdrops from different protocols, so they probably know something more, or are in the groups that or are doing a lot of research to get this airdrop. So as you can see, Look On Chain is really good at trying to find those. So if you're looking for new airdrops because you missed the ARB airdrop, there are a bunch of really great wallets to look at. I'm going to post the link down below in the description if you want to know. Now, for the part related to the eligibility of the ARB token, actually the distribution is interesting, and Nansen helped develop Arbitrum airdrop distribution backed by on-chain data analysis using Nansen query. And this is what I've mentioned with trying to really leave people that were trying to hack the system outside. And you can see it here that the list of eligible wallets represents around 28% of those having breached to Arbitrum 1 since inception as of the late snapshot date of February 6, 2023. So that means that basically one for people only got the airdrop of the potentially eligible wallets, and that means that those wallets were associated with some other accounts or trying to do the same thing. Also would love to hear the comments from you if you were trying to farm from different wallets, whether you were successful or not. This is something that will be definitely more omnipresent going forward, because definitely the teams from Arbitrum and other chains, they don't want to have one person claiming multiple rewards, even if they just claimed, you know, like if they played around with multiple wallets, but they were doing the same thing. So what they wanted to try and do was that they were looking for people, for wallets that were behaving really with one purpose in mind, being eligible for the airdrop. They call them Sibils, wallets that very likely use Arbitrum chains with no other purpose than to become eligible to a future potential token airdrop. So they want to have that, and they want to leave these people out of the equation here, and it is understandable, and I'm going to definitely post this link down below if you want to read exactly what they were doing. That might be worth it. You have all the criteria for what people were doing, and you can see different kind of, for example, negative criteria as well. So for example, if you had like super small balance at the end of the day, or like there were just transactions within the period of 48 hours, then basically you get minus points and a lower airdrop in the end. So very interesting statistics, and that's why I was also talking about NordVPN before, because basically NordVPN allows you to maybe omit some of that to a certain extent for all the airdrops that are looking at the IP address, or at something related to particular wallets originating from a given location. So this might help to a certain extent, but this is not a guarantee. And usually speaking, it's definitely a risky strategy. So if you're looking for to farm airdrops, have one wallet that is your main wallet, and then all the others being used on the side with VPNs and stuff like that. This is probably the best way forward. So this is it for this video. I wanted to cover mostly the price prediction for Arbitrum, how to get potential future airdrops, and how to use a VPN to omit them. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more crypto updates, and see you in the next video.